I really like that music.
It is very relaxing.
Hmm.
It is.
Nice.
Morning.
Um,
How are we all this morning? Or this evening
Very
in
well.
your case?
swell. Just swell.
Pretty good. Pretty
Choice.
Good, thanks.
It's nice to see the two Garys are colour coordinated again.
Absolutely.
And once more, I am beardless.
What we should do is have it in order of beardiness. Hang on. So there we go.
Oh, no!
Yeah. I need to trim this. It's getting a bit out of hand, I think.
No. Don't tell me the weight of manliness is too much for you.
I've got my marks are still there.
Yeah.
I go to bed
Yes.
looking like Tom Cruise's granddad. Right then,
Right.
Model T.
Yes.
But I'm not going to be doing the Model T today.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'm doing something for the Model T.
Ah.
2 seconds. This light behind me is a bit too bright, I think.
White light! White light!
There you go.
So, my Model T has gone missing.
Oh.
Did I put it in the cupboard for safekeeping? Oh, shit.
Check.
Model T's gone missing.
Check your freezer.
Check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
So yeah. Yeah.
Have you checked in the fridge?
So my Model T is doing a very good impression of an M109 howitzer. What the fuck's it on?
Is it on your head? See, this is why you should never tidy up your desk.
I did a massive tidy up, like I said yesterday, and the start of a massive tidy up.
What's under the window there? On the square sort of
On the windowsill.
beige panel.
Hang on. Hey! So my Model T is virtually done bar weathering and decals, what there is of it.
Yeah, right.
So that's to be done. But what I'm going to do today is
The camera, Gary.
I love the word.
Heard that about you.
Camera. Oh, the camera. The camera you're looking at.
I'll do that in a minute.
No, I mean, you hold it in front of the camera you're looking at. There we go. Now,
We'll be going on this base, but not as this base looks at the moment, because all it is a slice of tree. I'm going to sculpt a mold on it and do some scenery.
wonderful.
Sculptor mold. What is that?
This is sculpt a mold. Comes in a bag. I'll show you when I actually get into doing it. I'll show you how it works, John. But basically, it's a fibrous, powdery substance in there that you mix up to the consistency of cottage cheese, and then you spread it on the base, and it goes hard, fanar, and forms terrain like that.
Ooh.
Well, hell.
Is it that colour as well, or is it white?
No, it's white. That's been painted. That was going to be for the M109 to go on, hence the tracks,
Yeah.
the M109. But I'm thinking,
Nice.
Wow.
That works
Straight
well.
away, that popped. Yeah.
so because I was doing that to take the M109 to Birmingham, but it never got done. So I thought, crank and Panzerwagen. But that was yesterday. This is
Well,
today.
If you don't fix it down, then you can use the base for any.
Well, you can, but I want to start putting all of my models on bases from now on.
Have we started something for you, Gary?
No, I think they just look better on bases. And before I can be
So what about this, Gary? This one here.
Right.
Tickle his belly.
We have a Model T
Ooh.
ambulance that's half muddied and half not. So I'll be muddying that up later on. And I'll be considering building the base for it, which is here.
Wow.
So said Model T will sit in there with some figures. There's a shell hole here to do. I'll put some acrylic in that. Maybe a comedic little signpost over here. Maybe some barbed wire as well. But today is sort of really getting these tram lines, these sort of mud tram lines, dealt with a bit more.
Mhm.
Then get that off to dry overnight, which it takes. And I have some figures to make for it as well. Well, in fact, two figures to make, and then I have to start painting them as well. I have to make Nursey and another figure who is supposed to be, it's a figure who's supposed to be climbing into the back of the ambulance as a wounded person. But
Yes.
I thought I'm going to see whether they'll work somehow climbing up onto the running board there, looking into the engine as if the engine's packed up.
Yeah.
idea.
It might not work, but it might. So that'd be quite cool.
I think with the right leg being the one that's up in the air, it'd have to be on the right-hand side. Sorry, the left-hand side of the Model T, wouldn't it? Because if you look at the running board, it curves down, doesn't it?
There's quite a lot of space there, though.
Yeah.
I could be by the driver's door and go sort of facing that way. I think it'd be okay.
You can always do it so climbing in the driver's seat.
Or could be just climbing in to try to start the ignition again. Who knows? It's my kit. It's how I want it. So there.
Yes.
That's fair.
So saith Gary.
Yeah.
That's what a rock ape looks like when they're getting angry.
What are these lads? Scotch mist?
And how are you, John? What are you?
Good. So what I'm thinking about, and I'll change the camera over, is I had went.
I speak very good England.
Earlier I was out. Oh damn it! Out. I was earlier. I was out earlier.
And I was earlier.
Was I earlier out? Anyway. So I bought a rectangle coaster. Thinking that it's too small, really. So I don't think I will use a rectangle coaster. I think I will just cut up a bit of this, that sort of medium or high dense sort of foam into a base. And what I had bought, I haven't opened this. This is an AK product, a desert sand.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be using.
It's supposed to be very good.
It is.
I wouldn't have a clue.
Do you remember the photographer's diorama I did with the SSG?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I used for that. But
okay.
It was very, very light when it dried, so I had to spray it with sand colour.
Yeah, no,
It's
I
a
get
lot
that. And then I had purchased a what have we got? It was ballast, but it's it's like a deserty sort of colour.
Yeah.
So I think I'll sprinkle that over it and give it a bit of a squirt of diluted PVA, and off we go. See, my original theory was there. My vignette is now complete, but I will actually expand on it a little bit, I think, by
I would
actually opening the package.
Yeah, when you've got that that AK paste down,
yes,
before it dries, sprinkle your ballast in then.
Right. Okay.
And then it'll dry with the ballast in it.
That's just far too long.
How does one open one?
With great difficulty. Twist.
Twist?
This is a famous John gets covered in AK.
No, he doesn't.
Well, was it literally just...
Now he's got the tricky bit.
Lucky. Yeah.
No, it's false.
Oh, crikey. Oh, there we go. Oh, my God.
We've got to watch this.
What does that smell like? Oh. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's sort of a bit gelatinous. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. I'm also going to give that a wash and dirty that up. I was just going to use, I think, this stuff. It's a light dirt. Ultimate sort of. It's almost like what you would be calling florry washes or whatever, but it's sort of that color. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's what I'm going to play with. It just all these stuff and just sort of like put it in a box, shake it up, and open it. And hang on, this isn't an ICM kit; it's a Tamiya kit now. We'll see what happens.
Excellent.
There we go.
Cool.
Good.
Yeah.
What about you, Mikey?
Me, I don't know what I'm doing. No, I do. Last night I primed. No, it's catching. Right. I primed.
Yeah.
The barrel box and the urn. So I'll be painting them today. And if I've got time, then I'll do some other stuff on it, on the diorama. There we go. As always, I've got them in. Got to say, I've got the affiliate link at the bottom, and if you want to buy the ICM Model T kit, it's down in there, and I was going to give you a little bit of money and all that. And there you go. There's my thing done with.
Nice plug.
I can't. Yeah.
Delivered.
Yes, it was flawless.
I begrudge the fact that I've got to say it every single bloody time.
Well, do you though?
Yeah, according to Amazon, yeah.
Well, just say, well, I'm not going to do it unless you send me to space or something like that.
Amazon schmamazon.
What they'll do is they'll basically stick me in a giant can and fire me up to the edge of the atmosphere, then so I just drop back down.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
And then I can go, I'm an astronaut.
Oh yeah.
Well, still, they'll put you in a rocket with just you and Katy Perry for 11 minutes.
Oh God,
that would be terrible.
Kill me now.
8 minutes in heaven. Scott says, good evening, everyone. Hello,
Evening, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Tiff says, morning, folks. Wow, it's quiet in here today. Joe says, good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Good to be here. Hopefully a nice, easy day today for all of us. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Great, Joe.
Ian says, good afternoon, all. Tiff.
Hi, Ian.
Matthew says, hi, all. Hello, Matthew.
Hey.
Jim says, good morning to all in chat.
Hi, Jim.
Greetings to all on screen. Hello, Jim. And Ian says, good morning, Jim. Good morning. Yeah, it's really quiet in this today. There's only 7 people watching so far. It's unusual.
Wow.
Yeah.
They'll be here soon.
Yeah.
It is a bank holiday weekend this weekend in UK, so
Oh yes.
Is it?
What's the occasion?
yeah, May Day.
Oh.
The early May bank holiday, or whatever they call it nowadays. It's silly season for bank holidays because we had Easter, then a couple of weeks later we get May Day, and then 3 weeks later we get Whitsun, or late May bank holiday, or whatever they call it.
Whitsun?
Right.
Whitsun.
Which
That one
Sunday
was religious
Island?
holidays.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some sculptor mold.
Yeah. Ian says, bank holiday weekend, innit? Innit?
So this is I hope you can see this. This is sculptor mold, John,
Oh yes.
and it actually it's a very
Oh, phones. Dorcosaurus is in at the beginning.
bloody hell.
What?
Oh.
It's a very fibrous material, and
So it's sort of like less angry asbestos.
But what you do, as I will demonstrate shortly, for those that haven't used it before, put that bag there. Otherwise, all you do is you put it in something to mix it in,
Mm.
Add water. Copious amounts of water. And then you start mixing it with... Where's my mixing thing gone? Ah! As you can see, I prepared for this.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
It didn't go like this in rehearsals.
Ian says the next one is on the 26th.
Yeah. You then start mixing it up.
Yeah.
Like so. And you want it to get it to the consistency of cottage cheese, which it very nearly is. Is that?
Columbus is in. He says, "Good evening, gents. Been a while. Hello, Cal.
Just a bit.
Callum.
Oh, hello.
Welcome back. It's
Hello
been a
to
while.
Morning, Benji.
Yeah, he's done some really good videos lately.
Right, so there you go. That's all you do. And then, with the aid of my palette knife, which I seem to have put somewhere safe again.
Again.
Ian says, Dorcas here. Great stream today. Bye. Joking. And he says, hey, Columbus. And Dorcas says, hi, Ian.
Oh, there it is, I think. Nope. Where is my palette knife?
Oh,
Oh, come on.
put that aside.
Mother. Aha!
Uh-huh.
Right, and then all I need to do now, that over there, is liberally spread it. And I may have made up too much here.
Hello, Binge.
That's Ben saying morning to Jim.
Yes. Is Jim in, is he? Yes, he is. Ian says, hi, Dorcasaurus. And Dorcasaurus says, be right back. Need a coffee. Don't blame you.
Yes.
I'm just going to mute for a second while he's having a...
The tanty
No
red.
problem. Yes.
All right. So that's liberally dusted with the light dirt clay wash. So that'll dry over time. I'm just using the box, the ICM box as a art mat, for want of a better word. That'll do. All right, just give me a mo. I'm just going to go and wash my brush out.
Okay, old boy. Are you having fun there, Gary? Of the Waitrose?
Oh, absolutely. Having a time of my life. Making a mess is always good fun. I just want to get some mud a bit levelled out. That's all.
It's like being back at play school, isn't it?
Yes, without the anxieties and worries of childhood. Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, which have I got the right shoe on the right foot?
Well, of course, that was never a worry because that was someone else's job to make sure of that.
Oh, yeah, well, yes, the manservant, couldn't let the young master get his shoes on the wrong way, could he?
Absolutely.
That was Nanny's job.
Absolutely.
David Cummins is in. He says, Mr. Morris, this is the worst Blue Peter episode ever. No sticky back plastic. No, here's one I made earlier. Although it's good to hear Shep still playing up.
Yes. Shep is alive and well. So what I'm going to do is, because I've made too much up, rather than waste it.
Ian says, I've just finished a coffee and now I want another one. That's called a caffeine addiction. Jim says, seems we're missing a few of the usual suspects in the chat audience. Yeah, we are today. It's quiet.
I didn't paint one of the doors. Take 2.
Yeah. Jim, go and wrangle them up. Herd them in. Grab them back as they pass the door. Jim says, Ian, I always want another cup of coffee.
Rolling.
Kevin says, good day, everyone. Hello, Kevin.
Great.
So there we go. There is the...
Gary has made his pizza.
Already.
I'm having
Well,
pizza.
that's it. 20 minutes in and he's all finished.
No, that's now got to dry for 24 hours. Oh, shut up, dog.
No way to speak to the children. Duke says, good day, all you beautiful people. Hello,
Hi,
Duke.
Hey, Joe.
And Jim says, good day, Duke.
All right. Take 2. Put that aside.
This is painting better than I expected. Okay. Jim says, Benji! I went to use my flavoured water in a paint tray then. That'd be real stupid.
So an interesting thing happened on the road just south of me earlier today. So the M1, which is the main sort of motorway that goes between Newcastle and Sydney, a truck was driving south.
No,
and
doesn't it go between London and London?
Yeah, it dropped kilometres of scrap swarf, if you like, but shaves of metal in it. Oh,
Yes.
It ruptured hundreds of cars' tires and stuff like that because it wasn't just one patch; it was spread out the whole road. So the motorway was blocked. There's hundreds of, if not thousands of cars just all came to a stop at once. So yeah, bit of a
Let's
problem.
just hope it wasn't aluminium.
Well, I have an alibi, so it's all good. It wasn't me. Lucky I went down yesterday, not today.
Aluminium oxide and iron filings do not react well together.
No. Yeah. Oh, and Mr. Tui says hi as well, by the way.
Oh, hello. I had a nice beer last night. That biscuit one was quite tasty.
Oh, this one's not a nice beer. It's adequate.
Jim says, a funny thing happened on the way to the forum.
Alrighty, now I will use this coaster, I think. Smear. I'm just going to smear it on. I'm trying to think. Oh, maybe I'll just get a bit of wood. That sounded wrong. But bit of dowel, I should say. Instead of stuffing up a brush. Actually, before I do anything, I better read the side of the container. Desert sand is a fine and smooth texture for any type of
You're
desert
reading the
sand.
instructions after you've used it.
Yeah, no. I'll actually do something unprecedented. Perfect for making dunes. This product can be shaped when wet and sanded once dry. This is a high-quality acrylic product developed for extreme realism. Acrylic product for textures and dioramas. Perfect results in thin or thick layers. It can be diluted with water or an acrylic thinner to improve its flow. Close well to preserve for longer. Use a spatula or an old brush for handling. There you go. So
Anybody need any spare sculptor mold?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, that sand dries almost white. So I had to spray it because it was just too light for what I wanted.
This stuff?
Yes, it dries almost white.
There you go. Ooh,
It's like on the sandy side up.
Yeah.
It's more like Bahamas sand than desert sand.
Oh,
No. So there we
Ian
go.
says, this one time at band camp,
it's one time at band camp.
Matthew says, that was the first Australian words I learned. Schooner, oh, you please.
Schooner and you, please. Yeah.
Oh,
Schooners are one of the. You get a glass in a pub. You know, it's like a pint. In some states, it's called different things in different states, but yeah, called a schooner.
let's have a look. Who we got? We got 11 people watching, which is cool.
11 people with nothing else to do on a Friday morning.
Clearly.
That's cool. We've got 11 people, almost 13 watching now, and 12 likes. So we're doing well.
So one of you hasn't lubed and subscribed.
Yes.
Right.
Johnny
So,
has the sticker for it to remind people.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
So what
I think that's
do-
what's slowly happening with my cutting mat is these like paint stickers, the stickers for the paint companies and stuff are slowly getting replaced by channel stickers, which is pretty cool.
So
how long does
Jimmy
this stuff take
says-
to dry? Do you know, Mikey?
Quite a while.
leave
It takes like a day or two.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
definitely leave it overnight.
It looks like you're making peanut butter on toast there, John.
It sort of does, doesn't it? Yeah, because I tend not to butter to the edges either. So yeah.
Which I'm sure drives your wife mad.
Oh, yeah. No. Well, I'm not allowed to make sandwiches for the kids because you know they don't like it. I swear to God, Leah uses half a jar every time she makes a peanut butter sandwich.
Why?
Oh,
Can't stand peanut butter.
well, yeah, she has smooth as well, which is, you know, more.
Yeah, have you ever
pity
thought
than
of saying
salted,
you're an
I guess,
adult?
Yeah, there's that.
Have you ever thought of saying you're an adult? Learn how to make sandwiches properly.
Well, you know.
You don't just get a knife and slam half the jar onto it.
Jim says, at Gary, I have a 3-pound bag of sculptor mold. Finally getting around to using it.
Yeah, this is a 3-pound bag, and I've had it about 3 years.
Cool.
But it is worth the investment because it does go a long way.
I'm actually going to do this.
Speaking of the weight of things, you know, I said yesterday that book on camouflage felt quite heavy.
Yeah.
I decided to weigh it last night. It's 1.8 kilos.
It needs to go on a diet.
That's a lot of book for you for 17 quid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent.
So what I'm going to do...
TBG says, hi, everyone. Hi, TBG.
Jade.
Jade, yeah. Dork says peanut butter jelly time. Tiff says, now I want peanut butter and jam sandwich.
No, you don't. They don't go together. I think it's an awful combination.
I like jam and cheese.
Jam and cheese. Okay.
Yep.
Any particular jam?
No. Just whatever jam you like. It's sweet and savoury together, isn't it?
Speaking of which, there's a new Tim Tam flavour out.
Ooh.
Strawberries and cream. It's white chocolate with strawberry filling.
Ooh.
All right.
Are they trying to appeal to the UK market?
Well, I don't know. Well, I think if we did, it would be, you know, instead of strawberries and cream, it would be like Scotch eggs and lard or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
It'd be strawberries and cream.
Dorcosaurus.
That's Wimbledon, isn't it? That's typically British.
Yeah. It's like eating mess and things like that.
Exactly. That's strawberries and cream with a bit of meringue thrown in.
Yeah.
Strawberries and cream. Very, very British. How very dare you?
Yes. Dorcosaurus says, hi, TBG. Ian says, hi, James.
In fact, I have a strawberry plant just outside.
Joe says, when I was... How very quintessentially English.
Okay.
Joe says, when I was a kid, my father would almost throw up watching me eat peanut butter. In World War II, he ate peanut butter mixed with water for 3 weeks straight in Burma. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Nasty. Julian says, time flies when you're not paying attention. Afternoon all.
Yeah.
Tiff says, it's lush. The sweetness of the jam goes really nice with the salty of the peanut butter.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm outnumbered then.
You see, we're closely getting, or we're very quickly with this line of conversation heading towards the pineapple and pizza. Which I think my views on that have been quite
well established.
Well established, and it's just wrong.
Doug Sawyer says, hi, Julian and Tiff. Tiff says, hey, Dorka.
Hey,
Julian says, hi, Dorkasaurus. Jim says, peanut butter jelly sandwiches are delicious.
I don't like jam sandwiches, and I don't like peanut butter sandwiches.
How do you get the jelly to stay on the sandwich? How do you get the jelly to stay on the bread? That's what I want to know. How do you get the jelly to stay on the bread?
Well, it's jam, isn't it, really?
It's an Americanism for jam.
So they butchered another part of the English language.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. We were gracious enough to give them a language, and look what they did with it.
Bless. No offense intended, obviously.
Yeah.
Because as we established last night, we never intend offense. We just happen to cause it now and again.
Right.
Offense is always taken, never given.
I've actually said that to American friends of mine, and they have laughed enormously. So I don't. It's a worry.
TBG says, hi, Dorcosaurus. TBG also says, so Waitrose has a gardener. He has his own builder and everything.
Yes, the build was around earlier.
Dorcosaurus says, I like peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwiches.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
I can feel my teeth rotting just thinking of it.
So does peanut butter go on before the fluff, or the fluff go on and then the peanut? I guess you wouldn't be able to do.
Basically, what you do, John, is you take your bread, you put your peanut butter on, then your marshmallow, and then you just throw it straight in the bin.
I imagine you put one on each half, don't you? And then put the two halves together.
And then throw them in the bin.
No. I don't know. That fluff stuff is weird. Like you grab a jar of that, and it's so light. It feels like it's empty.
You know, fluff cream, not off, mate.
All right, I'm going to sprinkle a bit of my little ballast on my still wet base. We'll see how that goes.
Probably done too much though.
Yeah.
No, tap it on the side.
Yeah, all that lovely sand, and you've basically just put it into gravel.
Yeah,
it does.
You covered it with gravel.
It's looking more like it's more like a sandwich, isn't it?
Yeah, in different layers.
It looks
Now
all
we need
right.
another piece of board.
It actually looks all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right then.
Now
then.
then. Now.
Then, now, then, now, now.
I
Then.
did that on tag the other day, and the guy that runs it saw. He said, "Did you just call Jimmy Savile?" And I went, "How the hell should I know? It's before I was bloody aware of what was on telly. When he was on telly, when he was last on telly, I was still watching Winnie the Pooh."
Well, I never heard of him until everything went wild. It's like, oh yeah, that's
yeah. Moving on.
Right.
Well, now is more from Blackadder 4, I believe.
Yeah.
Well,
no,
that's where I remember it from.
Yeah, that's Stephen Fry. Yeah.
Fantastic. Done. Now I'm going to. I guess I need to remove this stuff now. I'm going to run out of stuff to do very quickly because I need to wait for it to dry.
Well, why didn't you get some little bits and stuff that you can use, like barrels and things, and figures, and put them on and stuff?
I don't think I have any. I was having a look at Anzac figures today, ICM ones, because they have a set of Anzacs that go with these vehicles, but it was no longer in the shop, of which I won't mention. But here like that. I think I will. Yeah, now I'll just proceed.
Proceed.
TBG says crunchy peanut butter and Marmite.
Oh yeah, peanut butter and Marmite, excellent.
I don't even like Marmite.
That's an umami
I
bomb.
love the smell of Marmite, but
I like the sound of breaking glass.
I'd rather eat broken glass.
I will.
There's nobody going to mention the joy that is Vegemite and avocado.
No, because it's bloody rank.
No, because you don't eat Vegemite over here terribly much.
Isn't Vegemite just Marmite?
Made out of vegetables instead of yeast. Basically, it's rotten vegetables.
No, it's not. It's the dregs of a beer fermenter, a big hopper.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, and they make it in just east of Melbourne on the way to the Westgate Bridge. And when they're making up batches and stuff like that, the whole place smells like hot Vegemite. It's either good or bad, depends if you like it or not.
No, I've got to get this right. Right. So.
What's that? So loose. Well, whatever.
A quick modelling tip. I know the channel is good for modelling tips. I thought I'd share one with you. I learned yesterday, right?
Do share.
Mr. Colour Thinner.
Yes.
Right? If you have a small accident and cut your finger, for example, trying to fit apart something, never allow that to come in touch with the open wound because it's seriously painful.
Huh.
It really stings. I mean, if you want a dictionary definition of sting, it would be that.
We have a really useful thing in scale modeling called superglue that was designed to join bits of open wound together.
I didn't do it on. I didn't think it would actually cure the open wound part. It was that I had an open wound moments before the incident, and I was cleaning my airbrush, and some of that came out, and I thought, that hurts quite a lot. I thought, goodness gracious, I thought that stings a tad. I thought,
and you thought, I must remember not to do that again.
Yes, careless of me. I thought. Very careless.
Did half of South London turn around and look at your house, wondering in the direction of your house, wondering what the screams were?
No. There weren't any screams. I mean, we're man enough for that sort of thing. It just did sting.
We're, after all, the regiment.
Yeah.
Ian says, "Evening, Julian. You know you're late when Dorker's in before you." Kevin says, "Peanut butter and banana sandwiches." Ooh.
Yes. Nice with honey as well.
On a Rivita, that's nice as well.
Yeah, please.
This is why your diabetes hasn't gone into remission, Gary, because you're not trying all these healthy options. You're just poo-pooing them because you don't like one ingredient.
Poo-poo.
Yes.
I've seen many officers' career ruined by poo-poo.
Yeah. He poo-pooed it.
He poo-pooed it, yes. And he poo-pooed the poo-poo.
And before we knew it, we had to disband the whole regiment because of poo-poo.
Oh, Stephen Fry, you've given us so much fun.
Yes. Sir Stephen Fry.
Sir Stephen Fry. When did that happen?
The last New Year's Honours, I believe it was.
In the same one as Sadiq Khan.
Yeah, which kind of devalues it somewhat, in my opinion.
They give them to anyone now, don't they?
I'm giving one to me. I'm anyone.
You're a lord, you don't need one.
Oh, you're probably excluded, aren't you?
Yes, you're Lord Waitrose. Tiff says, Tiff says, peanut butter on one slice of bread and jam on the other slice and then stick them together like that.
No.
Perfect.
And then it all squirts out all over your hands and face.
Salami and cheese. Now, there is a good combination.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
CBG says, peanut butter and jelly or jam sandwich, deep fried in batter. Oh, we're in Scotland now.
Yeah, but if you add banana to that, isn't that what killed Elvis, eating those?
Yeah. Well, it was actually Yeah. It was actually the task that he was undertaking that killed him, but he did happen to.
I heard that
another good one.
Sybil Shepherd from Moonlighting is the person who found him on the toilet that day. I'm not sure if that's real, but I had read that somewhere.
Yeah, she was a girlfriend. But no, Ginger Alden was his girlfriend at the time. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, why wouldn't you stick with Priscilla? She was lovely.
Yeah, but she.
Because they were.
It wasn't the fact that he didn't stick with her; she didn't stick with him.
Oh, there you go.
I was going to say something then. Another good sandwich combination is halloumi and lunza.
I do like halloumi.
Halloumi and what?
Lunza.
What is that?
It's a Cypriot ham, but it's more like bacon.
Cypriot ham sounds foreign.
Well, it's Cypriot.
Yeah.
Everything's foreign to Australians.
The best filling I've ever had is any Greek gyro. Throw everything on top of a bit of bread, wrap it round, throw some chips in, sprinkle some tzatziki over it, or spray some tzatziki over it. Yes.
My favorite meal when I was in Iraq was when on a Tuesday we'd go to the Subway on the camp, and I would get the meatball marinara, 12-inch meatball marinara with all the meats on it and extra cheese.
Oh, that does sound right.
It was
war as hell. Yeah.
Yes. And it only cost $5.
I had I think a block and a half over, about 100 meters from my room on base was a Dairy Queen. So every week or so I'd go and get one of their, I can't remember now. They have a certain name for Juliet's or something or other. They're juices and stuff.
Oh, right.
See, we used to do the Subway every Tuesday until the staff sergeant, battalion staff sergeant, or one of the staff sergeants decided that he didn't want our section to exist anymore. He thought that we should all be working on trucks rather than Land Rovers because Land Rovers weren't as important.
Yeah.
So he closed our section in our workshops and moved us in with his, because his guys didn't really want to work for him. So
Sure. Let's try that again.
his logic was that section was a death trap waiting to happen because you were also ill-disciplined. We're like, no, we got all the work done. The fact that on our dinner breaks we would lay on top of the shipping containers sunbathing is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It was our dinner breaks we could do what we want.
Didn't stand there gawping like you'd never seen the hand of God before.
Yes.
Whatever next.
All right.
Using
I need to. I should have. Yeah, I need to go and wash my hands again. Back in a
He was a grade 1 arse. That's Staff Sergeant. We had a recovery truck come in, and on the control box for the crane, there's a it wasn't working. And I said,
back in a minute, Mikey. I just got out marrying him with the shopping.
Yeah. I said, oh, it's the hydraulics gone, Staff. And he went, no, it's not. I went, yeah, it is. And he went, no, it's not. I'm a staff sergeant. I know what I'm talking about. I said, Staff, please don't go up on that crane and start playing with the controls. It's leaking hydraulic oil. I can see it. And he went, no, it's not. I went, Staff, it is. I said, I've dealt with this problem before. He said, you're just a TA. You're just TA. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up. I'm a regular staff sergeant. And he got on there and started playing with the bloody controls. Next minute, just went, poof, all this hydraulic oil shot out the bottom of the control box all over him. And I just looked at him and he went, don't you say a word. And I just shrugged my shoulders and walked off.
Yeah.
So strawberries and cream Tim Tams.
Oh my goodness. There they are.
Yeah. We have comments. Tiff says, TBG, I need to try that now. Damn you. Dorksaurus says, sometimes for breakfast I make peanut butter and banana oatmeal. I have mini Wheatsbix and bananas. It's kind of similar. Tiff says, nope, Vegemite and Marmite are made of different yeasts. Yes.
It's different names.
Yes. Oh. Dieter says, hello. Hello, Dieter.
How are you doing?
Hello, Dieter.
Ian says, hi, Hagrid.
Hi, Hagrid.
Says, I thought Hugh Laurie's line in Blackadder goes forth, not Stephen Fry's. It could have been either, as I know both were in it. Yeah, they were both in it, but it was definitely Stephen Fry's.
It's definitely Melchett that did it.
Because he was always one that was a bit puddled.
I think it was in Private Plane when they'd crashed and Blackadder had been taken prisoner. And he was saying that it's not worth our time and expenses to go and rescue him. And they were having an argument, and Melchett came in, and that's when he said, now then, and then now.
That's right. Yeah.
And then
Darling and Flashard, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that was at the end. Yeah, it's at the end of the program. Flashard was there. Yeah.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
I think he then Melchett reminded Hugh Laurie about his rabbit and his birthday party, and running over his rabbit.
That's right.
I mean, I love those programs so much. I can happily watch them time and time again.
Yeah, same here.
That's
why I get one DVD.
Very impressive photo earlier today on Facebook. This is a royal family. Not all of them, but they had, let's minimise that. The King, Queen and Prince of Wales host a special reception at Windsor Castle for holders of the Victoria Cross and George Cross. Explains what
Excellent.
they are. But you got some absolute heroes in that photo, don't you?
Totally.
Yeah.
So this guy,
Absolutely.
Australian.
He can take off with this.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's amazing.
You
So,
wouldn't jump in the pool wearing them, would you?
so he won his VC in the Battle of Long Tan in Korea. It was Korea, sorry, Vietnam. But yeah, that would be this poor guy. You know, no legs, no hand. Yeah, very brave people. Eh? Hell of a photo.
Yeah.
And another one, when I was searching for that, this one popped up. So this is, you probably recognise the
Duke of Edinburgh.
Yeah. And that guy is Timmy's dad.
Oh, wow.
So the Duke, who's Colonel-in-Chief of RAMES, Royal Australian Electrical Mechanical Engineers, received Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Evans, Chief of Staff of the Australian High Commission at the time. So that was his last engagement before he passed.
Oh.
So hell of it, like, that was a very, very good day for him, I think.
Yeah, because he was our he was our Colonel-in-Chief, wasn't he? For the REME.
Yes.
That's why they got.
That.
That's why the REME were the ones that drove him at his funeral.
Yeah.
Dita says cleaning Nia's workspace so she can work on her models next to me. Dolcosaurus says, Ian, nice bike. And Ian says, thanks, Dorka. Julian, you heard this from a friend, I assume, Commander Evans? This is how far behind we are. Julian says, laugh out loud, Ian. Duke says, thanks for the wonderful tip, Gary. Ooh. Karen says, peanut butter and banana was Elvis' favourite sandwich.
Yeah. Deep fried as well.
Ooh. Jim says, try peanut butter, banana and honey. Very good.
Yeah, my wife eats that, and to this day, I'll never forgive her. She does peanut butter with banana. She's a nut job.
Dolcosaurus says, I believe his favourite sandwiches had bacon in it.
Well,
doesn't everyone's favourite sandwich have bacon in it? Joe says, John, just ordered my first biplane, the Airfix Bristol Bulldog Mark II 148. Not World War One, but oh well.
It's a beautiful build. You've done one as well, Waitrose, is that correct?
No, I haven't done mine yet.
Oh, you haven't done
another one falls down the slippery slope.
No, it builds up very well. It's a great kit. You'll enjoy that.
Excellent.
Joe says, love the DQ, Dairy Queen, and a Texas tradition.
It is good. Yeah, burgers are good.
Columbus just says, every Greek just flinched with Gary's pronunciation of gyros.
Yeah.
Gyros.
Look.
Cool. Jim says, Joe, DQ. Hey?
Malacca.
Sangria.
That was the only Greek word my 14-year-old daughter could say. Malacca. She didn't say it very often, thank God.
The only Greek word I learned was San Miguel.
That's Spanish.
That's why I never went to Greece.
And
Mythos is a Greek beer, and Kio is a Cypriot beer.
Right. Okay.
I know we drink Ouzo in Portugal.
Ouzo, yeah, Ouzos.
That's quite interesting.
Ouzo's a French drink, isn't it? Oh no, is that Pernod?
That's Pernod.
Ouzo. No, Ouzo's Greek, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Gary, you'll be able to answer me this question. Is raki a Greek drink or an Albanian drink? Or is it both?
It's Arabic, isn't it?
It's vaguely from the Mediterranean area.
Right.
Pretty much every country around the Mediterranean that has any form of grape production will make a raki spirit. Right. Once the grapes have been pressed for whatever they're used for wines or brandies or whatever, they further press the grapes and then distill that spirit, and that's what makes raki. It's generally around 40% alcohol, like most spirits. However, a lot of countries don't have regulations about things like excise and all that sort of stuff, so sometimes it can be considerably stronger.
Right.
But a good balanced raki, sort of 40% raki from decent grapes, is a lot. It's very much like grappa in Italy.
Yeah.
The same sort of thing. And eau de vie in France is quite often made the same way by distilling the late run of the grape juice.
Oh, there it is.
When we
Yeah.
lived in Cyprus, we used to get cheap red wine from the same shop that sold vinegar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
and a 3-day growth.
I love how you just go, you think of alcohol and think, Waitrose know all about that one, and then he does.
Yeah, as well he should.
Well, yeah, when he's in the Champagne region, wine tasting and forgetting to spit the wine out afterwards.
Well, I think that's sacrilegious to even think about spitting wine out afterwards.
Yeah,
Really.
why would you waste it?
Yeah.
But also part of the experience is the aftertaste. When it goes down, it's the aftertaste. And if you spit it out, then you can't get that same experience going, I think. That's my excuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds fair.
See if it tastes as good on the way up as it did on the way down.
A third time. Yeah.
TVG says, "Don't glue the wings on backwards." Joe.
Oh, too soon. Too soon.
Jim says, "Callum, as well as everyone in Chicago, Callum."
Yeah.
Fortunately, my rear number plate on my Lizzie has destroyed itself.
Oh no.
And said number plate decal now looks like that.
Okay.
Oh.
So you're doing the Australian, or the one of the roux on it.
The one with the roux on it.
All right. I could. Oh no, I was going to say I can send you that decal, but I've used it, idiot. No.
Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a
You've
minute.
got the other one.
Yeah, but it won't be right, will it? Won't be. The numbers won't match up.
Well, you could redo the ones on the bonnet. On the
Bear in
hood.
mind, they were used in the desert, so they probably weren't bothered about registration numbers.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
So I'm just going to leave it off.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I can't salvage that.
No.
Jim says, "Permission to let lower lip quiver, sir."
Mission to what the bottom lip. Mission granted.
Dieter says, "You guys are yeasting on the chat."
Well, that's it. That's the 3 decals on it.
Yes. They don't take long, do they?
No, well, 5 decals, isn't it? It's the 3 numbers and 2 roux. And in my case, it's only 4 because I've balled the last one up.
See,
Decaling
I haven't
done.
got any of the decals on
Decaling done. Then I
because it would
will,
have been pointless because I've rubbed most of it off.
I will then give it a matte coat and then do some weathering on it.
So here's a fun fact: the Americans that may not be aware of this. So in the scheme here, let's see, I'll zoom right in there, and I'll focus. Right. So on the registration, rather there, LC 2878. So in the middle there is a broad arrow, right? Now,
War Department.
yeah. So the people in America, a broad arrow on something, whether it be embossed or printed or stitched or whatever, implies government ownership, which is why Australian convicts, their uniforms had arrows all over them, because that person belonged to the government.
Oh, now I and hence where you always see things in cartoons and comics and things like that. Anyone in jail's got arrows all over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Government ownership.
I have learned something every day's school.
I seem to remember hearing once, and it may not be true, but I seem to remember hearing once that the arrows derive from someone's coat of arms, like in like the 19th century or something. Maybe wrong,
I don't
but
know.
I'm fairly sure there's someone involved in this sort of thing, and their coat of arms has 3 arrows, and it was sort of derived from that. But as I say, I may have made that up. Cheese one night.
I may have made that up for entertainment purposes.
So here's the thing. This is I'll move this aside. This is my utility jacket from RAF issue, right? Doesn't have my name tag on it, or it's got, you can see where the rank slides go. So the label for it, has a broad arrow on it.
Yeah.
Government ownership, and it's NATO stock number. So here's a fun fact: 66 is Australia identification. And 99 is Britain, 0102 UK. Sorry, America. There you go. So Air Force
NATO stock number. I didn't think you were in NATO, you boys down there.
Well, yeah, they're part of the UK defence, aren't they?
No, but we still use NATO stock numbers.
Oh, right.
They're worldwide. That's how we identify stuff. NSNs.
Yeah.
It's a global conspiracy.
Yeah.
They're selling to all sides of the world.
France, I think 12 is Germany. Yeah, different. The double digit is company. Yeah.
They sell to all sides of the world, don't you know, Gary?
Yeah, there you go.
It's like our French
stuff today, because that's what we do here. We pass on knowledge.
Yeah, as I did with the Malacca comment. And as Tiff is saying there, and those who have played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, fantastic game, will know that what Malacca means.
Yes. Julian says
it rhymes with banker.
Julian says, according to Wikipedia, raki is a Turkish aniseed flavored alcoholic drink, often described as the national drink of Turkey.
See, I would take
no
that with a pinch of salt, because the Turks are famous for nicking other people's stuff and calling it theirs.
Yes, and Wikipedia is exactly the source of all knowledge.
Yeah,
liable knowledge.
And Albanian raki is definitely not aniseed flavored.
Yeah,
it's a grape spirit.
I saw it was a cooking program years ago, and the Turks were claiming they created feta cheese and all sorts of things like that. But
yeah,
well, I do know what is natural to Turkey.
Turkeys.
Tulips.
Are they really?
That's why on the Turkish Airlines, on the tail of the aircraft, it's a tulip, if you look at it.
Ah.
You think tulips come from hamster jam?
Well, perhaps I can tell you here, there's some authority on here, that it was Henry Sidney, 1st Earl of Romney, who was Master General of the Ordnance from 1693 to 1702, would apply his family crest, which included this broad arrow, to prevent disputes as to which of the stores he was responsible for, marking everything with his private badge of the broad arrow, and it's since remained in constant use.
There you go.
How about that?
During the First World War and Second War, they added WD, didn't they, for War Department?
Yeah, and then later on, that actually became a trademarked, identified symbol. It was illegal.
During the war.
During the war.
Jim says, learn the word Malacca from the Greek neighbors' large Greek population in Chicago. I thought they were American. Junior says, raki is produced through a double distillation of grape pomace, also incorporating aniseed. Some variations may also use figs or plum as the base. To be honest, I'd worry if any drink was based on my plums.
The stuff I buy it actually does say raki rushi on the front, which means raki from grapes. So yes, they do use other things, but it definitely does not taste of aniseed, because I wouldn't drink it otherwise.
No, I can't abide aniseed.
I don't mind aniseed.
Jim says,
like Perno and stuff, and horrible.
Jim says, is the Dead Sea anywhere they can't see? Anywhere near they can't see? He also says, at this rate, we'll get through chat just in time for Monday's show. Yeah. Morgan says hi.
Bonjour, Morgan. Oh,
Bonjour, petit.
comment allez-vous?
How are you doing, Morgie?
Baguette.
And what are you doing on YouTube? Are you in Disneyland again? Have you seen the mouse?
Camembert.
God.
Baguette? Or are you getting drunk around Paris or something?
They're not getting drunk.
Well, they can drink at 14 in Paris, can't they? In France.
Can they?
Oh my God.
And he looks older than 13.
Sacre bleu.
But he doesn't like beer. So
Good lad. It's horrible stuff. Shouldn't drink it.
No.
Personally, you'll never see me drink it.
No.
You're
You only drink IPAs, don't you, Gary?
Inhaling it, yes.
Ian's doing an emoji laugh. Julian, now that Father Abraham sang in the Smurf song, then what? How did you work out your route? We followed the arrows on your suits.
Was that not the
It's the Baron Knights version.
Baron Knights version, wasn't it? Yeah.
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 David
Chin?
said, afternoon, evening. Go on.
I was just helping you out. Afternoon, evening, morning, all just back from dropping the missus off at friends.
Ooh.
Julian says that's why I said according to Wikipedia, that famous bastion of accuracy. David also says in Doghouse got 2 Edward 148th World War I aircraft weekend edition. Fair play.
Ooh. Naughty.
Julian says there's a reason university bans students from citing Wikipedia on account of it being from unknown sources, any inaccurate.
Yes.
Yeah. The idea behind Wikipedia was sound, that anyone could add to it, but of course there's no control over it.
Yeah.
I trust it. Well, I get what I need to from it.
Do you also trust that Nigerian prince that wants you to give you $1 million?
Yeah.
Columbus Model says Ouzo is my favorite alcoholic drink. Drank so much of it when I was in Athens. Give me a pint of Mythos any day of the week. Maybe a brandy and coke.
Jim says, Julian, the great thing about Wikipedia is if you don't agree with what it says about a certain topic, you can change it. Chat about Productions says, hi, I'm in. By the way, Chat about Productions is Martin Moyse, who was the M4H volunteer for our area. He's an ex-Remy sergeant as well.
Hi, Martin.
In I think it's July, he's taking part in the Iron Butt Challenge to raise funds for Royal British Legion. Now, the Iron Butt Challenge is where he rides that motorbike in his picture on for 1,000 miles.
Nice one.
And I think it's in like 2 days or something like that.
Nice one.
Yeah.
I hope the weather's good.
Yeah.
Martin.
Modders has got a link. If you can help him raise a bit of funds for the RBL, then it'd be much appreciated.
Well done, sir.
Yeah, he also rides for the blood bikes as well.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can help him, we pop along on that link. He's a good man. He's the one that got me into modelling again. Ginny says, was just piecing by the castle when the pesky mouse came up to me. There we go. Dieter says, Ouzo is just a Greek version of Ricard. Paul Price says, evening all. Hello, Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Tiff has posted the link in for the Martin's Iron Butt Challenge. So do pop along to it, share it, and things like that. Jim says, let's see if we can help him raise a bit of money for the RBL. We do a lot of good for veterans. Jim says, hey there, Paul. Will there be a live show Sunday? Ooh, I do. Paul says, yes, Jim. And Jim says, Paul Price, same time as always. 7 p.m. Australian time, Jim. Evening, panel. Evening, Paul.
Evening, Paul.
Hey, Paul.
Jim says, Paul, very nice. Oh, very good, sir. There you go. Mike said, it's the 6th, 7th, and 8th of June, 1,000 miles in less than 24 hours for the Poppy Appeal. That's a hell of a ride. I rode from where I lived down to Fishguard, and that was enough. My legs were bloody sore after that. June says, Jim, I have done one article on an ex-girlfriend of then Prince Charles. Says she had a relapse of her childhood spina bifida. Utter BS. SB is a permanent malformation of the spinal cord. Well, yeah. What's that got to do with the price of eggs?
I think he's citing Wikipedia again. Right.
Can we stay away from Wikipedia for our facts, please?
So, decals done. I've just put some micro sol on them to bed them down. The base is firming up nicely. Australian sand and clay in the outback. John, is that a deep sort of almost a reddy colour?
Yeah, well, it depends which desert
Orange.
you're in. Yeah. Yeah. It's because it's all rusted. It's all very high iron oxide content.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah, it depends on which desert.
I have got some pigment here. Now I wonder.
Shit.
Case in point, satellite view of Australia. Yeah, it's quite red.
That's quite red, isn't it? Ooh, that's even redder.
Yeah, but yeah, it's that colour pretty much. It's a very well, certainly up here, Port Hedland.
So it's a sort of rust
Marble
colour
bar.
then, isn't it, really?
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
rust is a good. So that might be.
Literally.
See, and I'm colourblind, and I can tell that.
Yeah. There's not much out there. Yeah, but then other places, not so red.
Yeah. Probably use some of that.
Check private chat, guys.
Oh, yes. Sure.
Doing main.
Yeah.
Yep.
Roger.
Do you want to do that? Comments, Gary.
Oh, I can do that. So Julian says, I was answering Jim's comment about correcting Wikipedia articles, like he was citing an instance when I have, or I wasn't quoting them myself, I have spina bifida, so I know they were wrong. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Paul says, a red dust in the outback gets into everything. It took 4 months to get it out of my four-wheel drive ute. Yeah, that would make sense. Some can be quite fine. But yeah. Yeah. I heard the other day that there's Americans posted to Exmouth. It's like sort of halfway up Western Australia. That they can take anything they want home, put it in the back of a C-141, C-5 or whatever to fly back to America. And apparently most of them are taking a big ass rock back because nobody would believe the color, and they just plonk it in their garden apparently. But yeah, there you go.
Wow.
I think I've got one. I'll just go and check my shelf. Hang on. I think I picked up something at Port Hedland. The clapper.
Beautiful. Beautiful Bernard. Oh. What are we doing? God, are we 1 hour, 17 minutes into this already?
Mm-hmm.
Holy. Is Mikey still talking to Martin?
I presume he must be. He's not talking to us.
Sorry, I didn't realise my mic was still muted.
Sorry,
He
I've
came
just
in.
realised. Mikey.
Sorry. Martin said, sorry, I'm out on the bike now. Putting the miles in, the signal here is great. All right, no problem, buddy. He also says, I'd love to see you guys do a motorcycle model with a poppy theme. That'd be nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Put that on the list.
Yes, that should go on the list for the next few months. In fact, that would actually be a nice one to do around November, wouldn't it? Or October.
Yeah, it would actually.
Leave it with us.
Mikey, while I remember, in case I forget when we go off air, you know I said I wasn't available next Friday.
Yes.
I'm also not available next Thursday because it's VE Day and I'm in town centre with Models for Heroes.
Ah.
I forgot that.
Right.
I've literally just remembered. I thought I'll tell him straight away.
It's okay. We won't sack you. You just lose half a pack of hobnobs.
Do you know what? I was at Birmingham NEC this weekend, as you well know, and Mr. Mayfield demolished a whole packet of hobnobs, and I never felt the urge to have one.
Well, that's un-Australian. Jim says g'day, and we all know those how those Australian rocks breed like rabbits.
I know, they're all over the place.
Mark Ritchie says, afternoon all.
Afternoon, Mark.
Emoji.
No.
Hello, Mark. Of course, everyone, a nice gentle reminder to lube and subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget. Always lube and subscribe. I don't know what to do now. I'm stuck.
As am I.
You're stuck.
Yeah, well, this is drying.
Yes. Look at that. How nice does that look?
These are bedding in.
Well, do you have any rocks to paint or anything?
The rocks are here.
Or any foliage to organise?
The rocks are here, and I do know where they're going.
Excellent.
But I don't really need to paint them because they're actual rock.
You're an ideas man.
Yeah.
I've got me. Oh, I don't want to. Yeah, because I've got a roo to print off, but.
Yeah, you're doing a roo with yours, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm having a roo.
They're tasty.
A rotten roo. You should do an emu as well, and then you could have a guy sat in the back with the Vickers machine gun.
Yeah.
That'd be even better, Gary. If you printed an emu off, you could do that, and you could do yours based on the emu wars.
Oh no!
And you could do the roos just stood there looking confused, like, what the hell's going on?
I think once I get I'm not really going to have a lot of room to get an emu and a roo on there.
Yeah.
So what I was going to do is going to have, because I've got rocks going there, sort of like that, and then sort of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was going to have the roo sort of here.
Yeah.
And then so
maybe. Well, what you could do is do that, and then 3D print an emu and have that as a separate. Martin's here. Hello, Martin.
Hello.
We'll come out of the chat set. Hello, Mark.
Hello, how are you?
You're
Good,
all right,
mate.
bud.
Good, mate.
Sorry, I'm out and about on the bike and my battery's nearly flat, so I'm having to run the bike and charge at the same time.
Very good.
So, tell us about this ride then, Mark.
Right, it's all in aid of the poppy appeal. It's been going on for a few years now.
Yeah.
And the idea is we all start off at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you have to complete a 1,000-mile route in less than 24 hours. You've got a choice between two routes. One heads up from Leeds, Squires Cafe in Leeds, and goes all the way up to Wick in Scotland, and back down to Leeds, and that takes about, well, you can do it anywhere between 17 and 24 hours. I've done that one in 22 hours. This year I'm doing a southern route, so that goes from Squires Cafe in Leeds to Bangor in North Wales, down to Haverfordwest, across to Barnstable, Andover, Great Yarmouth, and back up to Leeds, which is about 1,022 miles. And we're aiming on 20 hours.
Wow.
And in fact, it's with the Royal British Legion Rider branch in conjunction with the Iron Butt UK. And so the aim is to raise money for the poppy appeal. So far I've raised about £200, but obviously any more would be more than welcome to help the Royal British Legion do the work they do.
Excellent.
Are you looking forward to riding it on your new bike, Mark?
It's hard. It is hard especially on the butt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all right. If the first 500 miles are the hardest, after that you start counting down. But it's more about it being tired, because if you're doing 22 hours constant driving is not easy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I always look forward to doing it. This is the second time I've done it.
Yeah.
Just hope the weather's good. We start at 5 in the morning, so hopefully we'll miss a lot of the heavy traffic. But the only real bad bit's going to be the M25 going from Andover up to Great Yarmouth, which could be a bit of a challenge, but hopefully just filter through.
Excellent.
So,
where are you today?
But there's lots of information on the website if anybody's interested in having a look at it.
Yeah.
I thought I could really challenge myself and build a model on the route, but I don't think I don't think I'm
you can always have
time
Diane do it.
I might get an Airfix click together or something.
Don't fancy doing a wooden sailing ship while you're doing it then?
No. So to be fair, you really plan your route and you do it properly. You've got 5 fuel stops, which are about 10 minutes each. You can normally allow yourself about half an hour for something to eat and have a whittle. and that's about the only time you get spare if you're going to complete it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, best of luck with it.
thank you very much.
Yeah. Where are you
There
today?
are 7 of us doing it from North Wales this year, which is quite good.
Yeah.
I can't show you the pipe because I've got a power cable on it. So
There you go.
I don't know if you can see any of that.
You can see most of it. Nice.
It's only a little 700, Benelli 700. So.
There we go. Well, excellent.
Anyway,
Thanks for coming on and telling us about that.
Thanks for inviting me in to chat with you guys. That's very kind of you.
Oh,
That's all right.
It's wonderful to see. I haven't seen blue sky for the last 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, well, we haven't seen it very often here in North Wales recently, but the last few days has been quite nice, actually. So I'm just hoping it holds out for the 1,000-mile thing. Got a lot going on at the moment. VE Day celebrations, of course, this weekend coming up.
Yeah.
Well, ride safe.
I thought it'd be nice for you guys to do a poppy motorbike project.
Yeah.
Yes, it's on the. We put it on the list. So,
moderator, make note, please.
Yeah.
I could do that. Yeah.
brilliant.
Excellent. And cheers for coming on, Matt.
All right, thank you very much. I've got the bike running so I can charge the phone. So if you'll excuse me, I'm going to turn it all off now.
Yeah. No problems, buddy.
Right.
Have a good day.
Ride safe.
Yeah, wheels down, bud.
All the best of you. Bye now.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Bud.
That was
There
nice.
we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a nice guy, is Martin.
He's all right, I guess.
He's not. He's lovely.
I've seen better.
Yeah. He does his own YouTube channel, obviously, Chat About Production as well, where he does a lot of reviews, like hotel reviews and things.
Oh, is that right?
Which could be handy for you, John, for 2027.
Well, there is that. Yeah.
The return.
Yeah. Manly.
Yeah.
Marley's return.
Where did we get up to with the chat modders?
Well,
I haven't got a CBD.
I think modders just fell asleep.
No,
Paul. Could be worse. Jim, the rocks could breed like cane toads.
I'll read the comments so you can carry on. I'm not doing much at the moment with this, Mikey. So if you don't mind, I'll read the comments. You do modelling.
Well, if you want to take over, that's fine. Yeah, I'm only joking. Yeah, of course you can.
Okay. Jim says at Paul Price, aye. And Paul says, as long as the emu and Roo face each other, you'll be fine. Here's a fun fact. You know why the Australian coat of arms has a kangaroo and an emu on it? Apart from them being Australian animals.
No.
The two, neither animals can move, can go backwards.
Ah.
So, yeah,
I thought it was because they were the
only
only animals. I thought it was because they were the only animals that Australians feared. Australian Army feared.
Yeah, well, you know. Yeah.
You
Tiff has put in the link to Chat About Productions.
Yeah,
Good.
Martin's YouTube channel.
Mark says, at Tiff, hello. Tiff, how's your headache? Has your headache gone? And Tiff says, nope, still there, Mark.
Oh dear. Take more water with it next time.
Yeah.
You should eat more fresh fruit.
Instead of putting it in your sandwiches.
Yeah. Or on your pizzas.
Don't do it. Sent me some porn. He says, if you haven't seen this yet, you really should. Wonder what it is. Let's have a look.
What?
A link to something. A link.
Oh.
Meanwhile, Link. Oh my god.
So talk about
But
keeping.
we haven't spoken to Waitrose for a bit. How are you getting on, Gary?
I'm fine. This is just doing some figures up, and the diorama, well, whatever you call it, base is in the dryer. It's had its first coat of soil, so it has
That's
some
looking good.
mud later on, and maybe
He's that posh. He has a dryer for his models.
Yeah.
Absolutely, have a dehydrator. You need to get one. You absolutely need to get one. It cuts the drying down time so much, especially for like with the Heinkel 70 I'm doing at the moment. It's got like about 4 colours on the top camouflage. And if you actually want to wait until they're bonded properly before you can mask them, like leave it overnight, well, that's sort of 4 days just to do the camouflage, which is stupid. With the dehydrator, it takes about 4 hours to bond. So you can do 2 or 3 coats easily within a day. So it makes a big difference.
That figure on the stretcher, I just want a speech bubble coming out of him saying, I think I'm getting better.
I feel happy.
Yeah. No.
The better looking male, he got AI the other day, or a couple of weeks ago, to generate a book about himself.
Oh my goodness.
So this is it here. Yeah.
He's into his AI at the moment, isn't he?
Oh, he has a bit of fun with it, yeah.
Well, I remember another fun fact. I was watching this very good program last night with it was hosted by Professor Hannah Fry. She looks at
she's great, yeah.
Things about modern life and how they all work and stuff. She was talking about motorways, and she was talking about the signage on motorways and how it was developed and all that. And they went to the place where they actually manufacture the signs. They print out the signs and then manufacture them. And it was a Royal British Legion signage company limited or something. So the Royal British Legion essentially make the signs for the whole motorway network and road network, which I think is brilliant.
That's cool.
Because it brings in cash for the Royal British Legion, presumably. But B, I suspect it also means that they can employ a lot of veterans.
Well, it's the same as they do with the poppy factory, isn't it?
Exactly. So I didn't know they had the gig for doing all of, apparently, I don't know if it's all the road signs, but they were doing like the big sort of 20 square meter motorway signs and things like that, and printing all of those and assembling them.
Yeah, right.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
They should look at doing that around the Republic of Ireland, I think. Because from what I understand, there's no road signs in Ireland whatsoever. They're all in pubs around the world.
Yeah. Well, it's the old thing about asking for directions in Ireland. And they say, well, if I were you, I wouldn't start from here.
Oh, I felt really sorry for my neighbour the other day. I was talking to him out front, and apparently he went to the local pub because he's from Northern Ireland originally. He's got quite a strong accent, and he went to one of the local pubs. And as soon as he started talking, they told him to get out, and he went, "Why? What have I done?" And he went, "We don't have your kind in here." And he went, "What are you on about?" And he went, "Travellers." I went, "I'm not a traveller." He went, "Yes, you are." And he said, "What?" He said, "How dare you?" He said, "What the hell makes you think that?" He said, "Well, you got an Irish accent." He went, "What the hell has that got to do with it?"
Yeah, and if you can't tell a Northern Irish accent from a Southern Irish accent, you've got no right telling anyone to do anything.
Yeah. He said, "I'm British." He said, "I moved over here 10 years ago, and I've lived with my girlfriend ever since." In a house. They actually dug the heels in as well and kicked him out. Because they said they don't want any trouble from his kind.
Yeah.
He was raging when he left.
So Irish pubs. This is the least Irish pub I've been to. It's called O'Malley's. It's in Penang, and they're the staff. So you can imagine. Yeah, it's not really an Irish pub, but it'll do.
O'Malley's.
Tasted like regret. Tiff said, "I eat plenty of fresh fruit. You should eat more fresh fruit and have plenty to drink."
I don't think olives in your cocktails counts as fresh fruit and plenty to drink, though, Tiff.
Oh, you're kidding, really? I was hoping it's on my 5 a day.
Mike says, to Tiff, humid weather usually gives me a migraine. I hope it clears up soon, Tiff. Oh, everybody cares for everybody else here. Isn't it a nice place to be?
Yeah. Lovely.
We're a caring, sharing community of model makers.
Yes.
Yeah. And other people.
Other crafts are available.
Yes. Dieter says, folks, signing off. Time to wrap up my day and go get near. Well, thanks for tuning in again.
Have a good weekend, mate.
Catch you later, Dieter says. Tiff.
I'm not saying yay because Dieter's going, by the way. I'm saying yay because he's picking up near.
Yeah. Julie says, just a thought. If you have a large number of models to dry, I have a couple of heated portable clothes dryers with a cover on a bit like an airing cupboard on wheels. Pop the models in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The static heat should dry the models faster.
Yeah. Well, one thing you do need to worry about, though, is dust. So with these desiccators, you can put a filter over the air inlet so you don't bring in dust into it. But yeah, a lot of car model builders use them for getting their 2K coats to go off and things like that. That's where I heard about it. Barbatos Rex, again, on his channel was talking about it. So, yeah.
Well, Tiff said she doesn't frink cocktails and she doesn't like olives. She gets tension headaches when I'm stressed and they can last for days. Well, that sounds awful.
Yeah.
It's probably a feedback thing as well. You get stressed out about having a headache, which is really not helpful.
And Tiff said she meant to write frink.
Yeah.
Dita, everyone take good care of yourself and have a nice weekend. Oh, yes. And, if you support democracy over there in Belgium, it's the Australian election tomorrow. Vote. Vote in the Australian election and vote often as I vote in all.
Stream. One bloody stream. That's all we wanted. One bloody.
I support democracy. I vote in every democratic election around the world. Multiple times. Nia and I will try to do nothing less.
Oh, happy days. Oh, no, that's singing.
Dieter says, Nia and I will try to do nothing less. There we go.
Good for you.
Joe says, same here, guys. Lots of work to do in the yard and garden before heavy rains tomorrow. Have a great weekend, all. Have a great weekend, Joe.
Cheers, Joe.
Dieter says, can I even vote in Aussie land?
Well, Yeah.
That doesn't stop John voting everywhere else in the world.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Drew says, I don't recall if I told you about my run-in with the cinema manager a few years ago. His attitude towards wheelchairs, ignoring the fact there were people sat in them. Okay.
Oh.
I don't understand some people.
Somebody got music playing. Gary, have you tried drying out any fruit or anything in that desiccator yet? See how good it is.
Yeah, apples work really well. Haven't tried anything else yet. It is marketed as a fruit desiccator. It's what it's built for. But they just happen to work really well to help you cure paint quite quickly.
to help you cure pink.
Paint.
Did you say?
Paint.
Oh, paint. Sorry, yeah, that makes sense. And other colours are available.
And other pop stars, rock stars, or whatever.
Other fruits are available.
Pink pop star, is she rock star?
Julian says, if not, it's a long story. I'll tell you in Discord. I look forward to reading that.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, we've got 20
How
minutes
did you-
left, and I'm still not much I can do. But it's looking alright. Looking dusty.
How did your live stream stats go last night, Gary? Last night.
Okay, we're about 30 people down on usual. So about 25% or so down on usual last night.
That's probably the Alaskan branch has gone.
Yeah.
Last
Well,
Yeah, we'll tell you off stream.
No, I haven't watched it. Sorry. Yeah, I've not watched it yet.
But yeah, it's still peaked over 100 viewers at one time, so that's cool.
I'm going to do some missiles while I'm just sitting here, if that's okay. I don't think anyone
Do
would
what you
mind.
Do what you want.
Wow. Well, I might do some missiles whilst naked. I cracked myself up.
Well, at least someone finds you funny then.
Yeah, I was thinking before, Gary, you saying about the kangaroos and emus.
Yeah.
You could do a 3D print of a kangaroo, or an emu, sorry, and an Australian soldier facing each other with machine guns.
Good.
That would be quite funny.
Mm.
Or an emu with a machine gun and an Australian soldier running away.
An emu with a...
Like he's being chased by a combat emu.
Didn't Rod Hull make a career out of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. A tactical emu.
There was a quite a fun YouTube video, Facebook video. Recently, someone did an animation of penguins upset that certain political events going their way on the place where they're the only actual inhabitants,
Yes.
and they were facing up, so all getting armed up and all that. And he said, "You think you've got seals? Well, here are ours." And they were like this sort of load of seals underwater, real seals carrying bombs and rockets and shit. That's really funny.
Yeah,
Really
I
cute.
actually very nearly went there one day with Hercs. I didn't. Somebody else went instead. But there was it's Australian waters.
Yeah.
And there was illegal fishing going on, so we were going to go down there and announce our presence.
Yeah.
Well, we did. Yeah, but it wasn't me that went. It was another guy, a mate of mine.
Did you go, hello, we're here?
Yeah, well, just
It was
flying very
only
low.
one person.
May I see your fishing license, please, sir?
Well,
Yeah.
because we had two things. They sent like a navy vessel as well as a Herc, and they haven't been back since. But,
Yeah. Gunboat diplomacy, see, it's what made Britain great.
Right.
Glad we've taught the rest of the world.
Yes.
And hello to all our good friends in China.
Yeah.
And there we go again. Yeah. Oh, hobby time's in.
Hi, hobby time.
He says, hi, guys.
G-Day.
Yeah.
Right.
So how do people feel about the fact that we're celebrating VE Day so much? Do you reckon that VJ Day is going to get anything like the coverage?
What is
Not over there.
Every day's VJ Day when you...
I just think it's a disgrace that everyone's going on about victory in Europe, and there's another 3 months, and people are still dying.
Yeah, I would like to think that VJ Day does get because VE Day is not the end of World War II, is it?
No, and there won't be a flight past. There won't be all this palaver going on.
It does get good coverage down here, of course. You can understand because we were well involved.
Add to the fact that in the UK, the Pacific Theatre is mostly forgotten about.
Yeah.
There was a veteran. They were doing this thing with schools, and the school kids were writing them letters to thank them for what they'd done and all this. And there was this guy there, and he was saying the thing about VE Day is my friends were still dying in front of me. And that's just so sad to hear that.
Yeah.
It's all very good. Over here, everything was fine, but my friends were still dying in front of me. Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's off to you, fella, for what you did.
We're saying with Armistice Day, isn't it? Because the First World War didn't end until 1919. And there were, parts where people were still fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think it's really sad that it just gets overshadowed so much.
Fair enough.
Hobby Time says, been catching up on Gary's show last night.
Very good.
Yeah. Hobby Time says the last of the D-Day veterans died today.
Is that right?
Oh, wow.
Now that's another monumental.
Jeez.
Yeah. That's it. And the problem is, when they're gone, the youth of today won't really know what they did for people.
Well, this is one of the things I said to Kate. If you think about it, we're actually really lucky, our generations, because we're the last ones that were around to talk to World War I and World War II veterans.
Yeah,
this is true.
From now on, World War I and World War II to younger generations, or generations coming about now, the First and Second World War is going to be no different to the Boer War to us.
Fair point.
It's just going to be another note in the history book.
Yeah.
Which is why it's important for us to keep this stuff alive.
Well, that was the beauty, in the way, of the series The World at War that was on in the 70s.
Amazing.
All of it was first-hand testimony. It was people who were actually there and saw these things with their own eyes, or took part in battles, or fought in it. That was the beauty of the show,
It's incredible account. I think so. It was for those unaware. It was filmed BBC. I think it was maybe Thames Television. I think one of the. Either way, I think it was 1972-73, narrated by Laurence Olivier.
Laurence Olivier, yeah.
And interviewed everyone, whether they be German soldiers, people that are actually there, Hannah Wright. It's just the most who's who of people that were on the spot, civilians as well as military personnel. It's just an incredible account, and so well done. It's one of the best documentaries ever made. Very harrowing, absolutely harrowing. Certainly the episode about the Holocaust. I just can't watch that without getting very upset indeed.
There's a good one on YouTube as well. I think that was done by BBC back in the day, and it's a 4.5 hour long documentary of just interviews with World War I veterans.
Amazing.
Describing what they went through and everything.
So I need to go off head, blow my nose. Just give me a sec.
You got all emotional again. He's a big softy, isn't he? Jimmy says, Gary, that's exactly why I insisted on a VJ Day remembrance event in the local war museum when we had a VE Day party. See, whenever I hear VJ Day, I can't help but think of something very different. But I remember when we were in primary school, we did a VE Day concert for all the local, for the old folks, people from the old folks home and stuff. And afterwards, they sat with us and told us about the war and stuff.
Yeah.
And younger generation now are never going to get the opportunity to do that.
No.
It's quite sad in a way.
Yeah. I wish I'd been able to talk to my granddad about his time, because he had just did the most amazingly daft things, all by accident. He wasn't certainly wouldn't call himself brave. He ended up at D-Day by accident. It's like what was it? That really famous film where they've gone on holiday by accident. Yeah, and he turned up at D-Day by accident because he wasn't supposed to be there, and it's actually in his 40s at that time, and it definitely was not supposed to be on combat operations, but he knew about anti-aircraft guns and the harbours Mulberry harbours they were towing over had anti-aircraft guns, and he was supposed to be instructing people how to use them, and it all got a bit sort of hurried, and he ended up being on it when it set sail for Normandy. So, well done, Grandad. But I would have loved to have spoken to him about his experiences of the whole thing. And he was in India in the 20s in the Mule Artillery as a Royal Artilleryman. He was in the Mule Artillery in India and things like that. Which reminds me, I must try and find out his number so I can get hold of there's a campaign medal for that he should have had, that I'd love to find out if we can find it. I mean, he passed away 50 odd years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I really wish I'd had the time to spend with him and to chat about stuff. And I was lucky I managed to get the time to speak with my dad about his experiences a lot more in recent years. And it's that first person history is always the most valuable.
Absolutely.
And as you say, the fact that we're losing it so much now is just terrifying. It really is so sad.
So I mentioned yesterday during the stream that there we go. Sorry, just go back one. This is from RAF 37 Squadron Association. Yesterday, the day before, 30th of April 2025, was the 50th anniversary since the fall of Saigon, with the South Vietnamese capitulating to North Vietnam Communist forces. So that's a big thing for us, of course, because we're heavily involved in that war from the start to finish. So I mentioned I went to a chat the other day at Fighter World. These are the Herc crews that were part of the Vietnam forces and that sort of stuff, all served over there. So Jack, that guy there, is our assistant general manager, and he's an absolute. The stories he was telling were incredible, absolutely amazing chat. So talking about first-hand stories, knowledge, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, there's just things that can be mentioned off the cuff that once they're gone, they're gone. And a lot of people, I think, after their parents die, you hear them say, "I wish I had asked my dad about blah," and it's absolutely true. Get in now. Well, certainly if it's not your dad, then whatever relatives you have, learn everything you can while you can.
It's like the old saying, isn't it? Tomorrow's never guaranteed. So don't waste the opportunity.
Yeah,
he's got maudlin very quickly.
Sorry about that, but I just think it's the most amazing stories I was hearing the other day. Like Vietnam's a war that I never really followed and got into, and I've heard there's obviously Battle of Long Tan and all that sort of big stuff, but the standard sort of chats.
It's some interesting. I suppose it was the beginning of. The Vietnam was probably the beginning of reporting by the media.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's the first proper war that was video.
Yeah.
So and now,
at the end of the talk, Jack was asked by somebody in the crowd, so do you think it was all worth it? Because, of course, the Vietnam War was lost. Well, as the Vietnamese call it, the American War. And what he said was absolutely it was worthwhile. He said the fact is, that all these countries became communist very soon after, obviously Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. And he said, if we had defended the country and we were successful in that war, then millions of people wouldn't have died under Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge and Cambodia. And he said, that's the thing that a lot of people don't acknowledge. It. I was all a waste of time. He was saying it's absolutely worthwhile.
Yeah. If they hadn't done it, then all that would have happened for much longer than what it did, because it just started earlier.
Yeah.
I was watching a fascinating video this morning. I was awake at 6:30, so I was downstairs watching YouTube on the 6 Day War.
Yeah,
and that was very, very good. And it was talking about how effectively the 6 Day War, the Egyptian forces were done within 3 days.
Yeah,
and the only fact that it was a 6 Day War is because after they'd finished dealing with the Egyptians, they then sorted out the Jordanians. And then when they sorted out the Jordanians, they then sorted out the Syrians on the Golan Heights.
Yeah.
And the whole thing took 6 days. But the actual war against Egypt was done by 11:30 on the first day, they'd got air supremacy.
Yeah. Mad, isn't it?
Mad. Yeah. Oh, look at the time.
Comments. Yes, comments. Julie says, it's not for nothing the 14th often call themselves the Forgotten Army. There we go. Hobby Time says, it's about time history was in schools again, or we never learn. Look at Ukraine at the moment. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Julian, I'll shush. My MA was military history, mainly in my case, World War II Bomber Command, and it infuriates me when bloody idiots say World War II ended 8th May 1945. Yeah. Because you also then had the Berlin airlifts and everything as well, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Operation Mana and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul says, don't forget about the other VE Day. That is the victory over emus at the conclusion of the Great Emu War, 1932.
Thoughts and prayers.
You can always count on a Marley.
Gene says, laugh out loud, Paul.
Very good.
Yeah.
And the Runic Workshop is in. Good morning from across the drink. Hello, Runic Workshop.
Oh.
Nice of you to join us. Yeah.
Very welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
there we are.
What have you guys managed to achieve today?
Well, I have achieved.
Let's start with weight rows. Only joking. Only joking. Come on.
The base is drying quite nicely. The sculptor mold's drying really quite nicely. I've got the decals.
You've made a Victoria sponge by the look of it.
Yes, I've got the decals on. Obviously, I had the disaster with the rear. And I've just been playing with them. I just made a little swatch up there as to whether that will do as an earthy Australian type, dark earth, sandy-ish colour for the base. And I think it'll work. So yeah,
sure
that's what I've done today.
Excellent.
If anybody wants to see the demonstration of how to use sculptor mold, if you didn't know what sculptor mold was, please go back to the beginning when we come off air, and I'll show you how to make stuff with sculptor mold and throw a load of it in the bin because I've made too much.
Marley,
hello.
What about you?
All right. Okay, so yes, gave the vehicle, the Tin Lizzie, is the good. There we go. Ultimate weathering washes, light dirt. So a bit of a thing all over. So that looks, I think, suitably dusty, dirty, and all that sort of stuff. Plus, I had used the GAC. Where to put the GAC? Oh, there we go. Desert sand. Terrains on a beer coaster, 99 cents at Bunnings, and then sprinkled it with ballast from Noch. Yeah. So I'll let that dry for the next, say,
That's
week or
looking
so.
good though.
Well, it's looking, I'm thinking I might actually spray this all over with, the same sort of color, like a very light gray, and just make it like a plonk like that. But it does look,
What the hell is Weight Rose doing?
yeah, it's usual thing. So every so often I do a military vehicle and just go, that can't be right. That's not like something I would do. Like, they turn out better than I think they bloody well should. I don't think that looks
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's okay. That's me.
Excellent. So I have painted. I've just done the sand on there. I need to smooth that out. Started painting. Oh, when I focus it, there you go. The barrels and stuff,
What barrel?
and an urn. What do you mean? What barrels?
I didn't think there was barrels in the kit.
There isn't. I got another kit to put them in.
Oh, right.
Mini art barrels?
I have a kit of barrels and things.
This will be me shutting up then.
So, Lord Waitrose, what have you been doing?
Well, I've sort of got this far with the old thing, muddied up the ambulance somewhat, put it into some mud, shell holes and stuff like that. So that was just drying in the dryer, to which it shall be returned.
Already has the World War I feel about it.
Lots of mud, basically, I think is the key there. I have also, I have got Nursey. Hello, Nursey.
Hey.
Hello,
Nursey.
With some lovely others.
Nice.
To there, made, and because I then ran out of things to do, I started making a Bristol Glenham Mark 1 for fun.
Nice.
Fun from a channel, obviously. I don't do anything about fun anymore. Yeah, so that's what I've done today.
You have fun. That's why you come here.
Excellent. There we go. And the two Garys are stuck on the other cameras.
Oh, well, we'll change them. There you go. Allow that. Do as you're told. There we go.
There we go. Hey, there we go.
Hey.
Hello.
That was fun. We've got some stuff
coming
done.
along quite nicely, I think.
That went quick. Yeah, I'm really pleased with how the base is going. Although to the diorama vignette experts out there, well, all you've done is put the sculptor mold on there, but I've done it.
Yes.
And I know now what's going where, so it's clearer in my mind. So I'm happy.
Excellent.
Good show.
Yeah.
So how long, what do you think, another week of this?
Week or two, yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think, all I've got to do on mine is weather it. I'll probably spray the base off air. Yeah, I reckon I could be finished next week, provided my print off the room.
Yeah.
Coolio.
Yeah, because that won't take 5 seconds to paint.
Sorry, I'm just placing it on, seeing what it looks like.
And then we'll be on to the new kit.
Yeah.
We haven't announced what that is yet, have we?
Hey?
No. And we're not going to tell them.
No. That'll make them furious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
HMS Furious and 200 to go.
Yeah. Right. On that note, thank you all for joining us. We shall be back on Monday at 12 o'clock.
Yes.
Yes. Where we will be building whatever the hell pops into our heads at the time. It's not a planned one.
Have a good weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
See you all on Monday.
Vote early, vote often. Hooroo.
Bye.
Bye.